A lot can happen in 1 week. The Crusaders lost, can you believe it? And Kaunda Ntunja actually picked that prediction. So we're checking in with him today on exactly how he knew the Waratahs would pull that off. The Sunwolves got dropped from Super Rugby over the last week. And I chat to Willie Brits to get an idea of what life has been like in Japan over the last 4 years. He's probably best placed to give us that insight. And the Bulls, a very high-flying South African team, lost to the bottom of the log Chiefs. Today on the show, we talk to Jesse Kriel, a Bulls centre and probably the best player on the day there for them, about recovery, something which he seems to know a lot about. He's also going to make us his favourite protein smoothie recipe. We'll bring you that and a closer look into Jesse Kriel's private life. If you can't watch the whole show live on Facebook right now, make sure that you tune in on SuperSport 1 when it premieres at 7:30 on Thursday nights. Use that hashtag #SSRugby if you want to chat to us during the week, or just drop your comments down below. Before I go join Jesse over there, let's take a look at what his teacher from school had to say about him.
Before every season, I start off with goal setting. So I get the squad together and we set team goals, we set individual goals, and then set up a logbook. And Jesse took this to heart, and he worked at these and trying to achieve them as a 15-year-old. And some of his goals were, he set his goal of being 80 kilograms at the age of 15. So already there, he started working in the gym and improving. He wanted to make the Grand Coma side, was one of his goals. He wanted to make the SA elite squad under 16. Although he didn't make these, I think this was the start, getting him to set the goals. That started him actually paving the way to becoming a Springbok.
The road less travel, that's what that docu is called. The Jesse Kriel edition is on the SuperSport YouTube feed, so go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. You get to know Jesse Kriel, the athlete. Today we're getting to know Jesse Kriel, the person. Welcome to In Touch.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's lekker to have you on the show. I know that you don't generally do TV, Jules, so it's really nice that you came to join us today here in Randburg. Tell me about that guy that we just watched.
Yeah, so that was Bruce Collicott, who was my under-16 coach at school. He was also the Grand Coma under-16 Natal coach. And yeah, he just had a really big part in my career. There's a lot of names I can mention from Maritzburg College about coaches that really helped. I think guys like Ryan Strudwick, Steve Botha, yeah, a whole lot of guys, Nigel Sutherland, a whole lot of coaches there that really had a big part to play in my brother and myself's career. So yeah, he kind of just at the beginning of that season just said to us, we're all going to do goal setting, and like you saw there, I had my own little logbook and I used to write everything there, how I was feeling after a session, or what I wanted to do for the day. So, and I still do it up to this day, where I plan everything. I've got my little book where I write down everything, whether it's from what I eat or plan for the weekend against, let's say, the Sharks this weekend. So yeah, I just it's something that from a young age I started doing, and really helped me to get where I am today.
What would you say to that Jesse from back then, if you could tell him anything now?
I'd probably tell him to have a bit more fun on the way. I think I was very, I still am probably a bit, just quite intense when it comes to what I do, and take what I do pretty seriously. So yeah, I'd probably tell him enjoy it a bit more. But I have luckily now, in the last couple of years, started to enjoy what I do a lot more. Obviously, the balance between life outside of rugby and rugby itself is really important, and you find that you play better rugby when you do have a better balance.
Are you blushing?
A little bit.
Tell me about that life outside of rugby.
Yeah, so basically I've met a really cool girl. Her name's Hope. So I think she's also brought a bit of balance into my life. Obviously got good friends outside of rugby, spend a lot of time with them. Guys, I think the guy that was on the show a couple of weeks back, Andre. Actually, it's the first time I've watched one of these shows watching him. So yeah, spend a lot of time with guys like that and friends outside of rugby, and obviously now with my girlfriend, and it's been something that's been really cool and taken my mind off rugby a bit. which has been great.
But you guys are long distance though, so you are still spending all of your extra hours in the gym, I hear.
Yeah, so basically she's over in London for 6 months on a CA program there. So yeah, it's just, I suppose, just use the spare time and in the gym and doing whatever else I need to do to play well on the weekends.
All the extras,
yeah.
Every single bit of extra there is to do. That's Jesse Kriel for you. We're going to be chatting to him a bit more, but one guy who spent quite a bit of time rehabbing and in the gym since he suffered a knee injury earlier this year is Teboho Mohoje. Opa Mohoje was out at the Toyota announcement of their sponsorship of the Cheetahs, or a renewal of that relationship. Let's see what he had to say.
Sponsorships play a very important role in sport. You know, without the sponsorships, then players can't get paid. We can't eat. So we really appreciate the fact that Toyota has decided to invest in us once again. And you know, like they said, they have expectations, which, you know, to be fair, they should. And we are willing to live up to the expectations. Hey, Jesse and Elma. Hey, yo. I miss you, man. I hope to see you guys soon, though. Bye, guys.
Lovely. So lucky to see Ope's face. So friendly always.
Yeah, I know, he's such a great guy. Awesome player, and I can't wait to see him back on the field.
Back on the pitch. So now, tell me about this fitness passion that you have, because it's a little extra. I mean, there are guys in your team who look like Louis de Jager, you know, who's really there for the rugby and not so much for the gym, but you are on another level of dedication.
Yeah, I think it's just something that really makes me feel good, I suppose, and it's kind of become like a hobby. It's just something that I've always really enjoyed, and obviously, luckily enough, it contributes to what I do as a career and as a job. So I suppose it's just, like I said, yeah, it's just become a hobby.
I heard our crew asking you for some tips and, you know, some advice. You know, what is it that the average guy in the gym gets wrong, or the average person who's very passionate about fitness, that you, with your added insight as a professional athlete, could share?
I think it's exactly what we spoke about when I got here to the guys at the back was cardio. A lot of the guys want to go throw or just go and do a lot of weights and stuff like that, but no one ever wants to go for runs or jump on the bicycle and do cardio, and I think that's where the secret lies.
And you guys now at the Bulls have had an injection of two pretty old hands of this whole professional rugby thing, with Dwayne and Skull coming into the mix. What has that changed in terms of the team dynamic, having them in the camp as well?
Yeah, I think it's been absolutely massive for us. I think the IP that they've brought back from overseas, especially a guy like Sculler, coming back from England, I think the kicking game's obviously been a big part for us this year at the Bulls, and it's something that we've been doing really well. I think just the knowledge he's brought back there, and then a guy like Dwayne, just the aura that surrounds him and that he's brought back, and how youngsters can look up to them, and also just I think their willingness to teach younger guys and just the team guys that are. They're really good guys, and they've just made an awesome impact.
How do you, after the disappointment of the last week, I mean, I've had bad shows before, and then it tends to kind of sit here on my shoulder for a good 7 days. How do you get yourself mentally ready after suffering a disappointing result like you guys did last week?
So you're gonna probably laugh now, but I go to the gym on a Sunday and I jump on the watt bike, yeah, I just find that if I do something physical, then I get over or get back to zero is what we call it. So I like to get back to zero on a Sunday, put it behind me. Normally I watch the game, do all my analysis and stuff like that, and then kind of I just think in rugby there's you can't dwell on a bad game or bad result. Obviously you need to learn from it, but then on the Monday you have to put that behind you, and you need to be ready for the next task or the next game on the weekend. Now,
I'm a bit of a stalker, and I'm quite nosy. Confession time, when Jesse was on his phone earlier, when his phone is on lock screen, the image there is the World Cup, the Webb Ellis Cup.
Yeah.
It's literally there every time you look down at your phone.
Yeah.
Does it not freak you out?
No, I think it's obviously back in 2015, it's something that we got really close to, and something that the whole group really believed that we could have won. So I think it's something that I think about every day, and it's obviously the first thing I see every morning when I wake up. So yeah, I think as a professional player, you kind of embrace those things, and yes, I think the pressure you can either see it as a bad thing or as a good thing. But I think first things first, need to play well in Super Rugby and make the squad.
Let's just check in with some of Jesse's teammates. Since we've been asking them about Jesse's deep love for some hours in the gym as well. This is from a docu we did earlier this year in the pre-season phase of 2019. Skalk Brits, just spilling the beans a bit.
A request to the public, if they ever see Jesse Kriel in the gym, please push him out of there. He's there every day, twice a day. We need him to focus on rugby and not body. So, Jesse, when you get to the gym, only gym here, buddy, get out of there.
Absolutely. I mean, that's not a secret. He's a physical specimen. Some folks like to claim that tag, but they're not, like Louis de Jager and those kind of guys. So they like to say they are, but they're not, clearly. No, but Jess probably puts in the most work. He's the most professional athlete I've ever seen in my life, and not just because he's sitting next to me, it's because it's the truth. So he's probably the #1 guy.
Thank you so much to everyone tuning in on Facebook. Russell Booth says, Jesse, with the World Cup soon, what's your take on the conditions in Japan? You've done some playing over there. You know the territory well.
Yeah, so I was there actually after the last World Cup for 3 or 4 months and really enjoyed it. It was just freezing when we were there. But I think conditions will obviously play a big part, but I'm sure that the coaching staff and everyone involved have done their homework. I know that they've already been over to Japan to check out exactly what's what and where the guys will train, where the guys will stay, what food will be eaten. So they've really got into detail with that. And I think, yeah, conditions won't be a problem.
Thank you so much as well. Elise says, Jesse, jy lyk ongelooflik goed. Harde werk is duidelik sigbaar. Henny Stein says you're in good form and love how it works for you. Schneiderlin wants to know, how did you make it to the top? Do you think that it's more the amount of work you do than natural talent? What's that split in your opinion?
That's a good question. I think obviously you need to have some amount of talent. To, I mean, if you have got no ball sense at all, then you can work as hard as you want, but you're not going to be able to catch a ball, you know?
Basically me.
But yeah, I think hard work, there's a saying or kind of a cliche that says hard work always beats talent. And I think in my case, it's been something that I've kind of based my whole career on, and something that I still to this day believe that is the foundation of what I've laid everything on. So I think, yeah, hard work in the end of the day always wins. And yeah.
Was there another sport that you could potentially have also gone into? Because when we had that chat with your chummy Kevin Larina, it became clear that rugby really just lost out to boxing in his case. Was there something else that if you were not playing rugby, you'd probably be doing right now?
A sport that I really enjoyed and that I had to choose between was hockey at school. We used to have a guy named Mike Bechet, and he used to coach SA schools and stuff like that. And it's just something, I remember him printing a picture and said that you can go all the way or something like that. So I suppose I could have played hockey, but in my mind, people always ask me, what would you have done if you didn't play rugby or something like that? And I never really had a kind of like a plan B or something like that. It was just always rugby. So yeah, I think rugby was definitely the be-all and end-all in my life.
Okay, well, another guy for whom rugby has been the be-all and end-all, and it's taken him to some interesting places. It's Willie Brits. He's in Joburg for a bit of a break before he heads back to Japan into pre-season. And we cornered him just up the road here to ask him about Japan and what it's like there.
First time in about 4 years I've got off and got time to get a bit of a holiday done. So yeah, just traveling around with mom and going to visit all the friends down the coast and in the inland. All the mates you never see, you know, like rugby is so busy and you never get time off. So yeah, it's just been good to travel around, see some people, see new places, and yeah, it's been fun. Well, the Japanese rugby system is a little bit different. I think that the game is a lot different if you compare it to Super Rugby or Currie Cup. You know, Currie Cup's a hard game. I think it's some of your hardest battles you fight is Currie Cup. And Super Rugby is really quick, and the combination of the players you play against is really skilled players. Where Japanese rugby is really quick, you know, and the time you have to make a decision is short, and then you have to make the right decision. So, and the Japanese players, their work ethic on the field is unbelievable, on and off the field. So it's still rugby at the end of the day, but there's a lot of influence from Australian coaches, New Zealand coaches, South African coaches, Japanese coaches, and to be able to combine all of that into a Japanese league to play real exciting rugby. I must say there's a lot of teams that play really exciting rugby, and you've got freedom to just express yourself on the field. Some of the coaches just tell the foreign players just play, you know, like the Japanese players will feed off you on the field. So you just try and create a bit of magic or just play your game, and they'll follow you. So that's a real good thing about Japanese rugby is yeah, it's really fun. The first time I got an opportunity to go to Japan, I spoke to my dad about it, and I think it's one of those places I would never have gone because you don't know anything about Japan. You think Japan and China and all those places are the same thing, and you eat crickets and rats, but that's just a misconception people have about Japan. You know, it's such an amazing country. The food's great, people's amazing, everything's safe, everything's on time, everything works. Like my mom can travel around 10 o'clock at night on her bike on her own, you know, like, and there's no worries. So for me, going here the first time, I didn't know anything about it, but my dad just said, just go embrace the culture, you know, and just enjoy it. You've got a great chance, a great opportunity. I don't think there was a lot of South African players at that time, like 4 years ago. And so for me, going there on my own, no South Africans, there's one or two Australian and New Zealand people. But yeah, I must say, I just enjoy the culture, and it's a great place to be.
Thanks so much for your time, Willie Brits. We'll definitely keep an eye on where his career takes him. Chris Wessels just commented on Facebook, Jesse, and he wants to know who's the toughest opponent you've played against?
Yeah, I get asked this quite a lot, but I think the toughest opponent that I've ever played against would probably be a guy like Ma Nonu. I think I played against him back when I just started my international career. And for the fact that he's just got such an all-round game, you didn't know if he was going to really come and like run over you, or if he was going to pass, or if he was going to kick. And then I think another guy like Sunnyball is quite hard to normally handle with his offload and everything like that. So yeah, probably those two guys as a centre would be the hardest.
If you're watching us and you're wondering where that noise is coming from, it's actually raining. Very hard in Joburg, but we are very grateful for the rain, so we are going to forge ahead. Now, we are doing a bit of a chat about recovery on the show today, because that's something that obviously you put all the extras into. And you've started a business, so your plan B for life after rugby is setting itself up quite nicely. Tell me about Exalt and where this comes from.
Yeah, so basically Exalt is something that myself and the conditioning coach at the Blue Bulls, Jakus Kutsia, is a really good friend of mine. It's a company that we have started together. Obviously, recovery and training and stuff is a big passion of mine, and there was just basically nothing in the market that I could find that was really effective and that could help me with recovery. So we basically went to the drawing board and just said, listen, yeah, we need to design something or formulate something that can really help recover, help an athlete recover better, and this is what we came up with. So Exalt, obviously the name is basically to do well, and the second part of it is salt. With the Epsom salt, and then obviously just with the added essential oils and things like that. That was kind of the thing in the market that we couldn't find. Obviously a lot of the other products have got added scents and things like that, but we wanted something that would just go that extra step further, and yeah, so that's basically what we've come up with. So
this is for very slow runners like myself, basically who do impersonations of little tortoises up and down the roads of Joburg, and serious athletes. The other thing that serious athletes and amateurs like myself have in common is our love of smoothies. So share with us your favorite smoothie recipe, your go-to.
Yeah, so basically this is my go-to after training sessions. So we've got some. Basically, I always start with just putting some whey protein in, obviously just for the just sore muscles and stuff like that, so it really helps with recovery. Normally just put 2 scoops of this in, and just get these, 2 scoops of that. Then we've got almond milk.
Why almond milk and not normal milk?
So I don't like dairy. I don't have any dairy, and almond milk is obviously it's not dairy. And then it's obviously also the unsweetened one. So we don't want too much sugar in this. So yeah, just normally get some in here. Should be enough.
Am I going to look like Men's Health cover ready if I live on this?
Yeah, women's health, hopefully,
Women's
not
health,
men's
well,
health.
one of those. Because that Men's Health cover you did was only vaguely intimidating. I mean, that is a lot of ripped happening right there.
Yeah, that was a while back. Obviously, I've been reading the Men's Health since I was a young kid.
Yeah.
So when the publisher, Rob Celia's, got hold of me and said that they'd love to have me on the cover, I was really blown away, and I was like, it's like a box tick, like life goals. So I was really happy about that, and yeah.
You'd think that you'd be on the cover of Men's Health like once a year at least, but I'm glad they finally woke up to Jesse Kriel. Okay, so we've got a banana.
So we've got one banana, and then I couldn't get blueberries because they're not in season.
Okay.
So I just went to the second best I could find was raspberries.
Why berries?
So they're very good antioxidants. You probably know that. Which means that it just helps with obviously with all the build-up in your body, all the bad oxidants and lactic acid and stuff like that. It really helps get rid of all of those.
Okay.
Then the athletes, I call it athletes' best friend is peanut butter.
Okay.
I think all guys, all athletes and stuff love a bit of peanut butter. And I really enjoy the crunchy one.
Crunchy one, I'm glad to see that. I'm also a crunchy peanut butter person.
I always put...
I kind of feel weird when people want the smooth one. I'm like, what's wrong with
100%. I always put a bit more than what you should.
You does buy it.
So I normally get about 2 teaspoons over there. And then we've got a really cool blender here today. What is this one?
I brought mine, but it was very small.
On, yeah. Your one got left behind. So...
Now, how often would you have a smoothie like this?
Probably just once a day. I mean, I don't. I'd like to eat really well after that, but I mean, when I get home after training or after a game, I struggle to eat. My appetite isn't that great, so I like to have something liquid. And this is normally that's for you.
Thank you.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
And let's hope that this is what gets the Bulls across the line this weekend when they play the Sharks.
You're going to have a sip.
I'm going to have a sip. I can live on this, it's okay.
Really good.
I can definitely do this. Make sure that you join us again next week, same time, same place. We're not probably going to have smoothies again because I'm not going to be drinking just anyone's smoothie. But thank you so much for joining us, Jesse.
Thank you so much for having me.
And make sure that you use the hashtag SSRugby. Chat to us. Let us know what you think of all of the action live and exclusive on SuperSport. It is a jam-packed weekend, round 7 of Super Rugby coming up. We got some Super Brew pick stories going because everyone sucked on Super Brew over the last week except Kaunda and Tunja, who got 5 out of 7. I got 2. Shame. You guys, it's your fault.
I probably would have also got 2. Yeah.
So let's see how it is that Kaunda knew somehow the Waratahs would beat the Crusaders. Same time, same place next week. Cheers. Thank you for joining us.
Hi guys, just want to talk to you quickly about my picks from last week. Eventually I got 5 out of 7 in a weekend where the average I think was 2 or 3 out of 7, so I did reasonably well, and I was one of the 2% of people that picked the Waratahs to beat the Crusaders. It's actually interesting, when I tried to go for the Waratahs, a thing popped up on Super Brew asking me if I'm sure I really want to pick Waratahs because no one is going for them. The reason why I went for Waratahs is because of obviously the tragedy that happened in Christchurch on the Friday before that, or 2 Fridays before that, sorry. And I just felt for me, the players will be going through a lot of emotions, probably going to 1 or 2 memorials during the week, being involved with a lot of stuff outside of rugby. And the Waratahs would only purely be focused on the game. And I felt that because the Crusaders will have to travel to Sydney and all of that, perhaps it would just be too much. So that's why I went for the Waratahs, because I felt that they would only be focused on the rugby, and the Crusaders, because of the tragedy that happened, would have other interests or other focuses going into that game. So that's why I went for the Waratahs.
And on that note, thanks so much for watching. And if you'd like to see some of our older episodes, click up here to subscribe to SuperSport's YouTube channel over there.